what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo, and I'm super excited to have a bunch of my friends here. Ruben Camp from Dark Horse Tech. We've got Jim and Dan from CareStack. Gentlemen, what's up?
Hey
guys.
Thanks for having us on.
So here's the thing. For those who don't know who Ruben is, we'll start with Ruben first, right? Ruben, you've been in here. You've been one of the first supporters of Nifty, Thrifty Dentist, hooking us up with all these great deals with IT support. But for those who are new to the group and don't know who you are, who is Ruben Camp? What is Dark Horse Tech?
We are IT for dental offices. We attempted to work for people that weren't dentists, and it didn't work so well. So we decided we're just going to stick with dental offices. No, in all seriousness, that's what we do. We work for 615 dental offices right now, and counting. Have probably added somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 150 Nifty Thrifty clients, and it's been such a great fit for us. I had no idea it was going to come out of this, where Glenn and I were having dinner near his house in Dallas like years ago, and it's turned into this. But yeah, so thanks for having me, Glenn.
Yeah, well, Ruben, thanks for supporting the group. And I'll tell you guys what, I mean, my office, we use Dark Horse Tech, and this is true story. I actually get IT for free from the partnership organization I'm in, and I actually turned it down because I like Ruben's company so much. That's a lot coming from the Thrifty guys. Okay, so just anyways,
that's true.
I want you guys to know that. So we got Jim and Dan, and guys, if you've seen all the posts, right? They just recently did a demo. There was a whole bunch of people in there. If you guys missed it, it's okay. I actually asked the two of them, can you please do some more demos? I think they tentatively agreed. But guys, thank you so much for showing up. And Jim, I want to ask you, what is CareStack? For those who don't know, what is CareStack all about?
Sure. So I'll do maybe the first half of our quick commercial, Dan, and then you can pick it up if that's all right.
Yeah, it sounds good, Jim.
Yeah. So Glenn, first off, thank you so much for having us today. We've been on board probably about 5 months now as a partner, as a sponsor of the site and the group. And we're loving the dialogue with your membership. They ask a tremendous amount of questions. They're very engaged, and they're very conscious of making sure that they can run practices that are efficient and profitable. So thank you. So the quick background on CareStack: we're a 100% cloud-based solution for the complete management of the dental practice. And the first type of practice we work with is the one that's ambitious. They're growing. They're having success, and they see offering a contact-free or touchless experience for patients as critical, as they've reopened. And they see technologies enabling that, and Glenn and Ruben, they just don't know how to get there. They need some help. And Dan, I'll turn it over to you, the other type of client that we work with, if that's okay.
Yeah. Glenn, again, thanks for having us on. The second type of client we typically find ourselves working with at CareStack, they're not quite as fortunate as the first Jim was talking about. They have aspirations to grow and get there with their peers. However, they're just drowning in insurance eligibility. They're fed up with managing 3, 4, 5 different software subscriptions. And they too want to be able to deliver that contact-free experience to their patients, right? Just like Group 1 did. And that's typically what we find what we're working with over at CareStack is one of those two categories.
I love it. And guys, for those who are tuning in, if you guys have any questions, type it in the comments section. And if you're really shy, you can message me. I have my other window up. I'm watching for any messages coming in. And actually, I already have one coming in right now. And this is actually directed towards Ruben. So let's just jump right into it, because the reason why we wanted you on here, Ruben, is because there's a lot of misconceptions. And I already got one right now. And that is, well, if I am using something like an Eaglesoft and I want to switch to CareStack, am I going to lose all my data during that migration? So Ruben, straight up, we're going to ask you about that.
You're not going to lose your data. All right. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be, it's a process. It's a conversion, and you guys are busy out there. So to think that you can handle this on your own is a tough pill, right? It needs to involve your team because they need to be a part of this, or it's not going to be successful. At the same token, your IT is very influential in taking a lot of work off of your plate. So it's amazing what CareStack has done. I'm here to vouch for the conversion process, but they're also going to, you guys are probably going to get into this in a little bit, but talk about how they even raise the stakes and making it even easier to switch softwares.
So Ruben, I'm going to ask a follow-up question for myself, and this is a very popular question that I ask you all the time, and that is, can someone who's using an IT service, their cousin that's doing it part-time, is that type of person kind of equipped to help do this conversion?
No. It's going to make Thanksgiving very awkward coming up here in a couple of weeks when they screw up your software.
And I bring that up as a kind of like a joke. It's a running joke that Ruben and I have, because we always see in the Nifty Thrifty group, they're like, hey guys, why are you paying for the IT? I do it on my own. I do it in between patients. Hey, I got this cousin who, he's unemployed right now, but he does IT really good. You should hire him. And I just think it's so ridiculous, because it's kind of like, would you ask your assistant to go prep a crown on someone? No. Why are you going to get like someone's unemployed cousin doing your IT? Right? Mm-hmm. And especially something like this. So that's the reason why we loop Ruben on. So Ruben, thank you for your honesty there. And Dan, I want to talk to you about this. You've done a lot of demos. You signed a lot of people. You've been with CareStack for a while. What's the percentage of people actually going from a different practice management software into CareStack? Because a lot of times people think it's like, oh, it's just these startups who don't have anything already, and that's why they can do it. But that's kind of a misconception. There's a lot of people who are already on an existing platform.
Yeah, I mean, great question. Appreciate the question, Glenn. I would say, Jim, feel free to chime in, but I want to say that number is probably around the mid-90s, right? A vast majority of people we see coming over to CareStack are moving off of an Eaglesoft, a Dentrix, a CareStream product, Open Dental, to break away from that fragmented, I got to have Eaglesoft with Revenue Well and all these other components to make it function. We do get a few startups, but not as many as we do with traditional conversions. Mm-hmm. And it's well put, not having a partner like a Ruben Camp. I would say if we talk about conversions, those are probably the smoothest, is when we have a good solid partner on that IT side that's helping the practice through that process.
Right. And smooth means not having a lot of stress, right? Because it's not just about what's coming over, what's not. You also have to detangle your third-party vendors, right? One of the main reasons going cloud-based, and I just full transparency, I am 100% cloud-based across the board in my systems and would not have it any other way, is when you go to CareStack, all of that's included, right? You got your curbside check-in, you got your paperless forms, and when you're on another platform, all of these are built-in, add-ons, and you see that, okay, yeah, Open Dental, which is, I love Open Dental as much as anybody. It's $169, and then Weave is $700, and then like you start adding up all this, all the things you're adding on, right? Analytics, scheduling, like all of this stuff we're talking about. The economy does not make sense anymore. That's why, you see CareStack, you see, yes, it costs more than Open Dental, but if you want to actually do a one-to-one comp, you have to take in all of the vendors that you're working with into the equation.
Now, I want everyone who's watching right now, guys, if you like what you're hearing right now, type in the comments section, Dark Horse and CareStack. We want to show both love right there. But look, I want to point out something that is really important. And it's this, okay? Ruben, most of his clients are on these other practice management softwares. I mean, he's like Switzerland here, okay? He's just saying how it is, okay? So I want everyone to understand that, because, it's not like all his clients are with CareStack. They're not. They're all, all over the place. But he's making a point there that is really big. And Jim, I'm going to have you talk about it. Sure. It's that subscription fatigue or platform fatigue. Talk about that. I mean, that's kind of like the genesis of why CareStack kind of came into existence, is because of that, what dentists face.
Yeah, Glenn, thank you. In a moment, do you mind if I share my screen for your viewers out there too?
Sure.
So I think the first place to start is like, wind back the clock to the mid-2000s when you as a consumer in your own home had 3 different providers for your cable, your internet, and your cell phone, and how difficult that was, 3 different invoices coming in, right? And now when we look at, residential America, pretty much all those services are bundled together. And fast forward to where we are now in in healthcare, really, if you think about medical practices, they've already done this. They've already given portal access to patients and online appointment booking. Why is it not here in dentistry? And that's because the landscape is really cobbled together from all these different disparate systems. And that's principally due to the fact that, Dentrix and Eaglesoft and CareStream SoftDent, they were introduced in the 1990s when things like patient reminders by text message or email didn't exist. So to launch those capabilities, you had to offer bolt-ons. And I think I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share this real quick, because I think this will really speak to it. Yeah, give me one moment here. So this is how CareStack competes in the ecosystem on the left-hand side. And can you see this okay, or should I zoom in a little bit?
No, I see it fine.
Okay. And so Glenn mentioned in the opening, like curbside check-in, or Ruben mentioned that. That's here. That's included in CareStack. And as we introduce new capabilities, as our offices have reopened and patients are demanding, hey, I don't want to stop by the front desk, Glenn, and pay in that, credit card terminal where I perceive the germs hang out. So patients want to pay by text. So we launch these things and we include them natively at no extra cost. So that's the CareStack value proposition on the left-hand side. And the right-hand side is kind of the current landscape of legacy products with bolt-ons. And I think one of the ways that Dark Horse is a little bit different than a lot of IT firms that Dan and I speak to is they don't see us as a threat. They know that in the future, the on-premise server is probably going to fade into the horizon. Is that fair to say, Ruben, or am I off base?
Yeah, honestly, you're touching on something that is, it happens a lot, right? Because as a business owner, I am secure enough I know cloud is coming enough where our backup revenue is going to be diminished, right? Our cloud systems don't need as much support, right? So that revenue is not there. It's up to me to come up with a solution to replace that. I'm a business owner. Everyone deals with problems like that. This is one specific to me. But the point I'll bring up is you have a lot of providers that aren't as secure in themselves out there that are giving people bad advice because they're scared of losing revenue, and they're going to give their clients bad advice because of that. That's not how I'm wired. So just, if you are getting pushback from your IT provider on cloud, that's not for you. You might want to ask yourself the question again, it might not be coming from the best position.
Yeah, so thank you for speaking to that. And so that's one of the reasons why I think we work well together, Glenn, CareStack, and Dark Horse, is that we want to work in concert with the IT firm. We don't want to work we don't want to be perceived by the IT firm that we're coming in to push them out, because we're not. We have to work symbiotically together, because that's how it's going to really flow best for the practice in the future. And this illustration on the right-hand side just shows like a lot of the brands that people are used to. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I don't want to commandeer this live event. Thank you.
Well, I was just waiting for you, Jim. My gosh, man, I thought you were just gonna take over. No, I'm just joking there, Jim. No, that's super valuable.
That is my Nifty shirt.
I will. Hey, you know what? I think Ruben has one.
Okay.
You guys are kind of new, so we'll wait a little bit before I get you guys those shirts.
Okay.
But I want to bring up something, because I just got this question here, and it's something to follow up what both you said, Jim, and Ruben, and that is I just got this mission said there's a company out there that says that if I go with their cloud-based system, I got to fire people like Ruben out of my practice. What is the company?
I know the name of the company.
Hold on,
what you don't even have to say it.
let me ask him real quick. Okay, because I want to know what the company. Okay, so while he's letting me know what company that is, because that's the audacity. The audacity, right? So this doctor says that this company's been wanting him to switch, and their pitch is, you go with us, you get to fire your IT guy. You don't need the IT company anymore. So Ruben, I want to address that to you. If you go with cloud-based, is that open season? I'm firing the IT person, and then Jim, I want you to follow up with, whatever it has to say.
Sure. If that person is not me, yes, you should fire them and hire me. It reduces the need for IT. it does not eliminate it. What this company, who I'm sure I know who they are, is it's low-hanging fruit. It's an easy sale. It's an easy pitch. But guess what? When you get audited and you don't meet HIPAA compliance because they said that, they're not going to be there, and it's all on you. So yes, don't listen to them when they say that. However, they are accurate to say you don't need a backup system because that is included with all of them. Besides, 3D. 3D is still, coming up, into the cloud right now. But I have to laugh at that because they're saying that with literally no risk to them.
And it's really irresponsible because, I mean, there's so many, come on guys, if you really worked with your IT company, all the things that they do for your practice, right? It's not just if all you have is your IT company just backing up your data, you are utilizing them. So that company's saying it's a curve. But anyways,
yes, it is.
I don't think they're in my group anyways, but if you guys really need to stop saying that. That's kind of irresponsible. That's really irresponsible. But Jim, let me just ask you, obviously you guys aren't telling people that, hey, if you go to CareStack, you can fire the IT person. How do you feel about that? Or how do you feel when people ask you that? I'm sure Jim or Dan, I'm sure you guys had, potential customers say, well, if I go to CareStack, does that mean I don't need IT anymore? Do you guys get that? And what do you guys normally say?
No, we talk. Yeah, thank you for asking us. I'm gonna have Dan comment because he's got an IT background in dentistry. So Dan, why don't you comment on that, please? I mean,
sure.
Letting your wheelhouse.
It's helpful that somebody threw that out there because now I know when I'm coming off of the back of a curve demo and I'm talking to somebody, that's where that question's coming from. Because I do get it a lot. Like, hey, can I fire my IT? And I'm like, absolutely not.
People really hate their IT guys out there. I swear to God, if you're wanting to fire them that bad, don't work with them.
Call Ruben.
Absolutely. I mean, we got a Nifty deal with Dark Horse, guys. So if it's that bad, Ruben's here. He's always responsive. But yeah, Dan, I mean, obviously now you kind of know where it is because apparently I just kind of Googled it. Apparently that's kind of like their little pitch.
Because, I mean, like at CareStack, I'm not going to fix your printer or a sensor that doesn't connect. I mean, you're going to call Jim or I. We're just going to be like a deer in headlights. I mean, that's not part of our platform. We run the practice management software. Not all those other devices that you're still going to need help with, right? So they're going to need a good person that's able to do it and can help them run successfully and smoothly during the transition too.
All right. So guys, if you have any more questions, type in the comment section or message me. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Sorry, just to add on to that for a moment. I think a lot of the philosophy of how CareStack approaches the market is we're not like the used car salesman approach where you got to buy now and buy right away. And fear mongers. We don't want to do that. We understand this is a big decision for practices. You're going to buy because of your own reasons, not because of ours. And the reality is that most people that make this move are typically in some sort of pain in their practice. And so we mentioned subscription fatigue. We mentioned having, the massive infrastructure they don't know how to manage properly. A lot of it too is that they're hiring younger staff and the staff comes in and they say, oh my God, this system's archaic. It looks like DOS, or it looks like the Windows I was using in college back in the mid-90s. I can't find someone young that will work with this. That's another thing we hear. So we want to meet them on their journey, and they're going to buy for their own reasons, not because we hotbox them and tell them if they don't get off the phone that, all this bad stuff is going to happen to them. So I just wanted to add that in there. That's not our approach here.
All right. So, a popular question when it comes to switching over to something that's new, right? Each time I come in and I learn something new or I got a new product, I'm really excited. I tell my team, and most of the time my team's just staring at me with like wide eyes and they're like freaking out already, right? They haven't even seen it. I was like, man, we got this new thing and they're already freaking out. So Dan, I want to ask you this, as far as training and getting everyone on board, I'm sure that you've had doctors say, I don't know, my team has been with an Eaglesoft or a Dentrix for a while, and I'm kind of worried about bringing them over there. What has the experience been for the team members that you've worked with?
Yeah, I mean, you put it well. I think they're probably experiencing a lot like what your team does, right? They get some wide eyes and they're concerned. Mm-hmm. But, we do have a tried and tested process, right, where every office gets a dedicated project manager, implementation manager to see them through the entire journey. and that goes for the training as well. And we do a CareStack University, and we keep it as a closed loop system. I know a lot of our competitors just put their stuff out on YouTube and Facebook. Ours is closed, so that way you as the practice owner can actually go in and see how they're doing in the training, and that they're meeting the mark as you get closer to that go live date, right? So you can have a finger on the pulse of them actually completing those courses. And you get that forever, Glenn, as well. So as you hire new people and just attrition happens, they can go into that same CareStack University and have access to that content and that lead trainer forever. So it's not just for that implementation phase, but for the long haul. Jim, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say, thank you. It's role-based too as well, Ruben and Glenn. So you have Joey at the front desk, and he's just in charge of, let's say, scheduling and billing. We're going to assign him the right responsibilities in this CareStack University. It's not one size fits all, where he has to receive clinical training, right? And so that's a really important thing, is that if you are a Swiss Army knife in the practice and do everything, then we can assign you all the roles. But some of these bigger practices have more regimented processes, and so we meet them on that journey. So that's really important. We're talking about, doing the learning on your own time. CareStack, we're big believers in that you see it, and it's not like a 1 hour video that you see, and then you have to do a 30-question test. It's bite-sized micro content where you see it, you learn it, and then you go do it. You implement it in your own version of CareStack. Not like, oh, I wrote this down somewhere, now I've got to go back in 3 days and try it out. So that's kind of the philosophy and approach. Thanks for bringing that up.
Well, I'm sure that IT companies like Dark Horse appreciate that extra training so that they don't have to train the staff there. I'm sure I've had a few times where my team wanted to call Ruben's team to work something. I'm like, I guess you could ask them, but that's not really their job. But I'm busy. Go ahead and do it anyways. His team's pretty good about that. But Ruben, I got a question here that's actually directed towards you. And so this doctor wants to know, okay, well, if I switch over to a cloud-based practice management software, okay, the backup, that's not something I don't have to worry about. But what are some of the things that I would need from my IT team if I do switch over to cloud-based?
Yeah, definitely. And Dan touched on this a little bit. So, all of the things that are disparate components in your office, even down to PCI compliance, we're helping our customers with that. We're talking about phone systems, camera systems, sensors, intraoral cameras, your Caribou. I mean, we're really handling everything, and including sometimes the practice management software, right? If you're on the phone with somebody and they have a question, we're going to help CareStack out rather than we're not going to say kick it back to those guys. We're on the phone. We're trying to be helpful. So you don't have your backup unless you have a CBCT, and then we do want to still make sure that data is backed up because that's usually sitting on that acquisition computer. What you need else than that, you need to make sure your computers are protected with anti-ransomware software, right? And we have a log of what's happening there. You need a firewall, right? So you know what's coming in and out of your office. And if you don't have a way to send secure email, secure patient health information, then you need that as well.
So, obviously that's a whole bunch of stuff right there. And I'm pretty sure there's more things that you might have forgot that's included as well. But think about it. It's kind of like if something happens to the AC unit, right? What are you going to do? You're going to look at your office manager and say, hey, can you go up to the roof and see what's going on? Can you make sure no one stole the copper out of there or something? No, you don't do that. You call the AC guy, right? You call the AC guy, right? It's just like you need to have a really good IT support, right? Because you know what? Yeah, you could try to figure it out, go on YouTube and try to figure it out, but you're better off at CareStack. So with that being said, we know how important it is. And I'm really excited because I'm about to put Jim on the spot here. Sure. And we got to talk about a Nifty deal, right? I mean, first of all, you guys had like a super deal. If you did the demo with Dan, all right, you got hooked up with a gift card. Now, if you missed out because, there's only limited seats, Dan already said that he'll do another demo. Okay, we'll find some time. So you guys gotta keep an eye out for that. But Jim, I gotta put you on the spot, man. All right, we're talking about how awesome Dark Horse is and all these different things. And I don't know. I have some ideas. Maybe you have an idea. Let's talk about a Nifty deal, Jim. What can you do for all the members here?
Yeah. Do you mind if I grab and share my screen again, if that's okay?
Sure.
I'm a visual.
Sure, go for it, man.
And this is going to be new news for Ruben. But thank you for letting us use your logo, Ruben. We appreciate it.
Yeah. What did you guys do?
Promise. But I think it's better. Yeah. So we want to come with a program that makes sense. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
I'm going to put it in slideshow view. Just give me a moment here. Because I've got multiple. I feel like Ruben a little bit. I'm like a IT wizard.
Oh, this is really behind the scenes here. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so this is what we're doing, Glenn, for your members. You're right. So the ones that missed the product expo that we had last week, you missed out on an opportunity to get an Amazon gift card. We'll do those again in the future, but we want to make sure that this offer is outstanding to the Nifty Thrifty membership. So let's start with the Ruben portion first, if that's okay.
Yeah, this is insane, by the way. You guys are crazy.
So I'm like Ruben's sugar daddy.
All right, if I'm reading this correctly, they're gonna subsidize your Dark Horse bill for 6 months and cover your firewall. I don't know. You guys are crazy.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Well, we want to really remove the barriers to making the transition, right? There's always going to be the fear of change, and Ruben's going to help you with that, and our implementation group's going to help you with that. But then there's also the financial part, right? And having the right information technology partner, which we've established is going to be Ruben and Dark Horse. So that is right, Ruben. So we're going to subsidize or underwrite, whatever the terminology is, $300 per month over 6 months, and provide that hardware firewall.
Wow.
I'm blushing, Jim. We just started dating.
Ruben, we want to meet the parents. We want to go for the first date to meet the parents. That's okay. So we're going to accelerate things here. And then from the CareStack side, we're going to take a 50% cut out of the implementation fee. The normal discount is with a Nifty deal any other time of the year is normally, Glenn, just 20%. So we've upped it to 50%.
Wow.
So that's a one-time implementation fee. And like Dan mentioned, that's going to cover your lifetime customer support and your lifetime access to CareStack University. And Dan, we can talk about support here in a moment, because when you do have questions about the software, let's come back to it. Because, when people talk about the legacy software, like some people say to me, Jim, I was on the phone with Dendrix and they were really quick. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's quick mean? And they're like, oh yeah, it took 17 minutes to get an answer. And I think to myself, wow, because our average hold time is 23 to 28 seconds to engage with someone. So that's included in the one-time implementation fee for life, is that support for our platform. And then more importantly, once you get live with CareStack, we're going to absorb the first 3 months of service.
That's huge.
So that's really important. It starts at a value of $17.94, and that we're basing that on 3 months for including the Nifty pricing for, your traditional, Glenn, I hate to, call it single shingle practice, right? And, somewhere between, 1 and 5 operatories. And so if you have more operatories, yeah, the pricing is going to go up a little bit. So that's why it starts at that value. And Dan, can you just comment a little bit about support, if you wouldn't mind? I don't know if I went over it too much, but how that kind of plays in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, the big piece with our support is, we take the same ideas with, like, when we build CareStack and trying to meet the patient in their journey. It's the same for the practice, right? We don't want to pigeonhole you into, oh, you can only call us and it's a 45-minute wait time today. So maybe give Ruben a call instead, because he'll pick up sooner. So we give options of live chat. They can call us by phone or they can email us. And like Jim said, our hold time is ranging in that 23 to 28 seconds to get on live with an agent at CareStack. And that's included with your subscription, right? Like Jim was saying, that's not an additional charge. Support comes with it. And you also get a dedicated account manager as well, too. So what we realized at CareStack is support is, you're calling them if something's not functioning, but say you didn't roll out online appointment booking day one, right? And you don't know how to approach it because you don't have the SOPs or operating procedure around it. Well, that account manager will sit down with you and walk through it, right? How do we do this to ensure that we're doing it right?
Yeah.
So it's another point of contact.
Jim, let me ask you a question, because I'm still kind of flabbergasted over here. Aren't you guys month to month like we are?
Yeah, that's important. I'm glad you brought that up.
So you're literally, I mean, you can't do this if you don't assume people are going to love your product. Like, it's a pretty serious deal.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So sometimes I forget to talk about that, is that CareStack is month to month. And we don't have, like, a lot of the cloud-based companies want a 2-year agreement, like the one that Glenn mentioned aforementioned. Let me use that big word. And that's a beautiful thing about CareStack, is that we're getting a test drive, or we're being put to task every day, because you can leave with 30 days notice at any point in time. So there's no long-term agreements. So that is an important feature. Thanks for bringing that up.
And that's huge, because Ruben knows this. Everyone in Nifty Thrifty, we hate contracts. We hate it with a passion, and so that's always huge. And I'll say this: I'm actually still in shock. That's why I'm so quiet. Normally, Ruben knows I'm normally just yapping away, but I'm still in shock. And guys, 2020 has been a really crazy year for all of us, right? Dentist side, vendor side, everything's been so crazy, right? But there's one thing that we have to do, is we have to get through it, right? And here's the biggest thing, is that we're looking at every expense. And so when Jim was talking about a Nifty deal, I told him, look, Jim, you got to bring something really big. And Jim, you brought it, right? Because most of the members in Nifty use Dark Horse. The ones that are not happy with their IT, they're not using Dark Horse. So for you guys, here's your opportunity, right? To definitely save some money by going with CareStack. But also, here's your chance to work with Dark Horse. And I mean, it's a Nifty Thrifty price, 6 months for free, right? So it's awesome. Jim, thank you so much for bringing this deal to the group. And guys, I mean, that's everyone's biggest concern is, okay, well, how am I going to get everything over to CareStack? Who's going to help me on the IT side? Well, we solved that problem. You're not sure if CareStack can provide the services that Jim and Dan just talked about. Well, they're so confident that you're going to get 3 months free. And gosh, what else is there? I mean,
I just want to add, it's like it's a $600 risk that your practice is taking when you get down to it, right? I mean, I know there's time and energy spent, but it's not like, in the software space, we're used to conversions and going to some of this server-based, enterprise software that's, right, Dan, tens of thousands of dollars.
It's like 1 month of dental intel.
Right. And Glenn, the one thing I want to mention is, I would tell your members to act quickly, because my CFO is like going to hate me when he sees these deals run in, when he's balancing the books. Arjun, I know you're out there, you're listening to this. And so, right, Dan, we got to warn him. And so the reason I bring it up is, maybe this is like the Tickle Me Elmo doll. Remember that back in like the early 2000s?
Oh yeah.
You couldn't find them at the holiday times, or
now the PS5 and Xbox X.
PS5, or when I was a kid, just to date myself, the Cabbage Patch doll. Couldn't find in Toys R Us. So I don't want to equate that to this, but it's not going to be here forever. I mean, I want to be upfront, Ruben, with your member. I don't want to create a limit on it, but I don't think that you're going to sit around and this is going to be here. I wouldn't look for it to be here middle of January, February. I would go now if you want to do this.
So Jim, what's the best way for Nifty members to, obviously, we had a demo, and hopefully the guys and gals who went through the demo, you guys already know about this deal. Hopefully it's already on your mind. And like I said, I mean, it's limited time offer. So you definitely want to take advantage of it. But if you haven't done a demo yet, well, you know what? Jim's a pretty nice guy, and so is Dan. Reach out to them. Maybe they'll set up a private demo with you guys. I don't know, but we're definitely gonna do more demos as well. But take advantage of it. And what's the best way, Jim? What's the best way, Dan?
So I think
the best way to get a hold of you guys?
A couple ways. You can post a comment. You can direct message me inside the group if you want me to respond back to you and you feel comfortable that way. The other thing I would mention is going to getcarestack.com, and you can click. I'm just going to go and share my screen again. Again, there's the visual part.
Big visual guy.
Sorry, guys.
Great. We can just look at your face. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm irritating the rest of the people out there. But I think this is a key thing. Go to our website. Click on this button for book now. And then the key thing is when you can go right into our calendar, and see when you want to book a demo. And we're looking for 45 minutes of your time. The key thing in there when you're completing this is put in there when you the next page here, the Nifty Thrifty deal. Mention it to us, right? Because if you don't bring it up, we don't know if you're just some average schmo off the street, right, Glenn? You have to ask for the Nifty deal. I've been around this long enough. But that's how easy it is. Go to our website, book a demo, or inside of the group, just tag me in a post and I'll respond back to you, or direct message me.
No, Jim, I'm gonna just needle you for a little extra. You ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, so they're gonna reach out to you, and they were going at the Nifty deal, but can they get hooked up with the Nifty gift card too when they do the demo?
Yeah, you know what? You're putting me through the vice. Sure. If they sit down with Dan, myself, or Nicole for 45 minutes, we'll give you the $200 Amazon gift card. No problem.
Guys, okay, so look, man. So pretty much they're saying they're so confident that you're gonna love CareStack that when you do the demo, you're gonna get something from them right off the bat. You're gonna get that gift card that everyone got during that other massive expo, okay? And then when you're done with the demo and it's so awesome, you get the super nifty deal where you get to use the services of Mr. Ruben over there at Dark Horse.
I love how I'm a throw-in. This is, I mean, this is great.
Hey, you know, and then of course you get that deal too. So, I mean, that is so awesome. So Jim, Dan, Ruben, thank you so much for jumping on. Guys,
Of course.
you know what the deal is. If we missed your questions in the comments, I apologize. We'll jump back. We'll try to answer them. Jim will, so will Ruben, and so will Dan. And we'll put the links to where you can go and schedule that demo. And guys, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us, Glenn.
All right.
Thanks, Glenn.
Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.